Maya has been working on assignments all morning. After working for 3 hours and 45 minutes, she finished at 11:30 a.m. What was the time she started? So this word problem gives us a couple variables. First, we know that she works for 3 hours and 45 minutes and that she finished at 11:30 a.m. So what we're trying to find is the start time, and that's what we have here is our clock, and it has a question mark on it because we're not sure what it is. But we do know our end time, and our clock has the hour hand at 11 and the minute clock at 6. The reason why the hour hand is pointed a little bit in the middle between 11 and 12 is because it's slowly progressing towards the 12 o'clock hour. And then the minute clock is on 6, which also represents 30 minutes. A student misconception that they often have is that they confuse the hours and the minute hands. They need to know that the minute hand is always going to be the longer one and that the hour hand is always going to be the shorter. Another misconception is they assume that the hour is the one that's closest to the hour hand, which could be incorrect. The hour hand moves along with the minutes to show closer to what time it is. Another student misconception is that they misread hours as minutes, and that's just another confusion with the hours and minute hands, and that can easily be corrected by reminding students that the smaller hour hand is smaller and that the longer hand is for minutes. There are a couple of tools that we can use to figure out time and the elapsed time. So there are a couple that I'm going to show you real quick before I start. The first one which we're going to use today is a timeline. So basically, instead of a normal number line, it shows the elapsed time. Instead of it being in base 10, it's going to be in base 60. This means that in order to make a complete hour here from 12 to 1, 60 minutes need to elapse. And that goes with the 360 on a timeline clock. So, for example, here we have the hour of 12, and then there's a 15, which shows it's going to be 12:15 a.m., and then it goes by 15-minute intervals to 30, 45, and then it makes base 60 to an hour. Another example that you could use is by using a number clock, which you can work backwards on the number clock. Alright, so in order to solve our problem, I am going to use a linear model, and our linear model is going to be a number line. And instead of having a basic number line, it's going to be a time number line. So we have each of our hours here, and they're split up into intervals of minutes. So we have 45 minutes, 30, and 15. So I went ahead and I put down our end time that we already know, which is going to be 11:30 a.m. And so what I have here is I have at the hour 11:30, and then you put it at the minute 30, so that's why I marked it right there. We're going to use 3 different things today to help us solve this equation. We're going to need to regroup in base 60, we're going to see the elapsed time by subtracting, and then we're going to need to do some backward counting. So in order to start, we're going to go ahead and just go to this base 60 here and go to the hour of 11. So to go from 30 to 11, it's going to be 30 minutes of elapsed time. That right here is going to show our base 60 because instead of there being 100 between 11 and 12, instead of there being 100 minutes, there's actually 60 minutes. So we're going to subtract that, which goes 30 minutes, and then so we could subtract 30 minutes over here, and now we still have 3 hours, so we can make one whole hour here, and then another one from 10 to 9, and then another from 9 to 8. In order to do that, we need to do some backward counting and subtracting of the hours. So we can go ahead and subtract 3 hours, and we're still left over with the 15 minutes that we need to find. So now we'll just backward count just 15 minutes from the 60 to the 45, and we have to remember that every hour has 60 minutes in it. So that's how we're doing our regrouping. And we ended right here, which shows that it's going to be 7:45 a.m. is where we started.